right, we are back with round 2 of our Super 7 Super Kaiju reviews, and I have saved the Godzilla figure for last, as we are getting into the Millennium Era with, I think this is the first time that Super 7 has done anything with the Millennium Era. We're looking at Godzilla 2002. So if you watched the previous video, I've already reviewed Destroya. Now we're getting into the prerequisite Godzilla figure of the line. And as I said at the opening of the video, I believe this is the first time we've seen an actual Millennia Era Godzilla figure from Super 7. Although, actually no, I take that back. This is the first of this size, actually. I still have this guy to open review. So we're getting into the Millennium Era of Godzilla stuff. So, but this is the first we've seen this deep in the Millennium Era. This is Godzilla from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. As I've stated, probably my least favorite Godzilla movie. I know. If you want to hear all of my rankings, go listen to our podcast about 2 episodes ago, where Jessica and I break down every single Godzilla film in our favorite order. But I digress. So let's look at this guy. So again, much like the Destroyer, it's got they went with the beautiful silver print on this stuff. The lighting's a little off in my room, but yeah. So again, here is the lineup of the standard figures that they have released thus far. I noticed that they didn't put the -1 figure or the Thirsty for Blood. So I'm assuming those are like weird one-off figures, part of this line. So, but thus far, this is what we have. So we're about wave 3 into this whole thing. All right, let's get this guy open. So remember to always be careful. Oops, hit my camera with your cutting materials. All right. Let's come out. All right. And I kind of dig the handle on these things. Again, all credit's due to Super 7, man. They know how to do packaging. Okay. Get him out. Put that off to the side. And here he is in there. So instead of rubble, we actually got a Maser tank, which is kind of cool. I like them switching this up a little bit. So I'm going to get this guy out of the blister pack, and then we will come back and do a review. All right, we got him out. So as I said, he comes with this little Maser tank. We'll get into that in a second, but the actual figure itself. So on first glance, this is a stout improvement over the previous figures in the line. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I have had my opinions about this particular line, but much like the Ultimate figures, where there's a lot of criticism, Super 7 has improved as they've gone along, and it looks like they have definitely done that with this particular figure. So, if you know Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and its sequel Tokyo SOS, this is the streamlined Millennium look. It's used quite a bit. One thing I'm noticing off the bat, they did not mold the crest that comes down into Godzilla's stomach here. So this appears to be, no, this is a completely new mold. So they didn't put that frill that's normally there. Now, I do feel that they'll probably reissue this at some point with the battle damage, but other than that, like, this is a definite improvement upon the previous Godzilla releases. I thought the -1 was a pretty solid. This feels like this is a step up from that. So, as you can see, it's got the full range of articulation. The jaw is hinged, something that I do believe they're bringing to the Ultimate line finally. The arms are on full ball joints. Get them there. Zoom in a little bit for you guys. So the sculpt's not bad. The sculpt is not bad at all, as you can see. The paint job's actually pretty spectacular. The eyes, the teeth, inside the mouth, they really captured the look of that suit. Credit where credit's due. This is actually a really nice sculpt. The fins do have the shading on them, so you go from the black to the gray. The hips are on ball joints, so you do get a nice wide range, and they're good and loose, and not loose of like, oh, these are gonna fall off. Like, no, there's no like box stiffness to it. The legs right there are also on a joint, and they're on a joint and a ball joint right there. And are the feet? Yep, the feet are also on a ball swivel. That's nice. So you're getting a full range out of this thing. Now, much like all of them, the tail is wired. Unlike the Destroyer, the tail's already assembled, so you don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. But as an action figure, this is nice. I'm not gonna lie, this is nice. It's a definite step up. Looks like the hands are okay. So here's one thing: the hands are locked in. So the arms do have ball joint and a swivel right there. So this is okay. So this would be my one negative, is that the hands do not move at all. But it is what it is. But he's nice. This is actually closer to the Bandai Namco action figure than the previous figures have been. Now, and I bring that up because those are the most comparable to this line. So these are just general action figures, which it's not bad. As an action figure, it's not bad. I know people will have issue with the wire tail. I understand why they do it. It is a cost-effective reason. The wire tail is very rubbery. But overall, in comparison to the previous figures in this line, I dare say this is the best Godzilla that they have done. This is a huge improvement over those that original Godzilla and the Mecha Godzilla. So, what I said in my last video, Super 7 does seem to learn from their, I will say, errors as they move deeper into the line with their action figures and stuff, and they have definitely made vast improvements upon Godzilla, at least in this line. Destroyer was an absolute banger of a figure. Loved it. This is a solid B+, and it is 100% better than the initial Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla that came out. So kudos to Super 7 for really improving upon this line, because this is like I said, it's a very weird line. It's in between their reactions and their ultimates. This is that happy medium at a much more reasonable price point, some would argue. Here's the thing. So these are $35. It's still a little pricey for an action figure, but considering the Bandai Namcos are sitting at close to $30 right now, it's not that far off. Now, I know that $5 to $8 is a big difference for a lot of people, but looking at where they're moving to, and considering the market that we are in, this is about what, this is good. This is really good. Yeah, a very good figure. A good B+, maybe a solid A- for what it is. Now let's look at the accessory that they gave us. They went with a Maser tank, which I do love. It is a solid piece. It's injection mold, but it's well done. I have yearned for the day of more military weaponry. Okay, hold on a second. I've spoken too soon. It's actually two pieces. The Maser cannon moves. All right, well, I take that back. This is pretty cool. And the nice thing is, if you're good with paint, this is 100% customizable. So you could practice your paint skills with this bad boy and probably make it look really nice. And again, I'm glad they went with military weaponry over the buildings because that's all we've kind of gotten so far with this line. So this does add a nice addition. So you can actually protect those pieces of rubble now in your setups. But yeah, this is actually well done. Well done, Super 7. So as I said, with the Destroyer, I got this on sale through Target.com. They do currently, as of the making of this video, have a sale on all of their toys. So I think I ended up paying $26 out the door for each figure, which is very respectable. I know some of you are screaming that's way too much for a toy. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in right now, people. Various economic reasons. So that's what you're just going to have to deal with. But overall, this new wave really shows that Super 7 is putting more time and effort into improving their Godzilla merch. And I give them all the kudos in the world. Firmly believe they have cracked the code and can only actually get better as they go along. Well, there you have it. That is my review of the Super 7 Super Kaiju Godzilla 2002. Remember, if you like what you see, we do have a show. It's called The Kaiju Kingdom Podcast. You can find us at thekaijukingdompodcast.com. And if you don't like to download, well, you can stream us on all of your favorite podcast streamers, including Apple, Spotify, or wherever else you might find better podcasts. We're also on socials. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're at facebook.com/The Kingdom Podcast. It's right there. If you want to say hi, that's the place to do it. Or if you just want to keep up to date in the world of giant monsters, that's where you can go. And on that note, that will do it for this edition of the Koffers. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.